Hello, hello, hello. It is 12 after. In a moment, it will be 15 after. I play every night at 7:15 Mountain Standard Time. Go 45 minutes to an hour at least, often longer. Stream goes up at 10 after. Gameplay starts at 15 after, 7 nights a week. Work on a game at a time. Right now, that game is Tales of Kenzera Zao. Gonna get started in about 2.5 minutes here. Feel free to hit like if you enjoy watching. Subscribe if you want to keep watching. No pressure to do either. I'm here for fun and I want you to be as well, but I definitely appreciate the love. Let's see, it's 13 after now. Gonna get started in a little under 2 minutes here. Probably only a night or two left in this game, depending on how quick I get through Act 3. I was online and found that a lot of people have had similar issues to me with the controls just being unresponsive in this part of the game. So I am committing to attempt for the next 45 minutes. We'll see how successful I am. I might need to take breathing breaks because this part was really frustrating me last night. I've been dreading it all day, not gonna lie. Like this, it's one thing if you're not succeeding in a part of a video game because you are failing at doing what it's asking of you, but it's an entirely different thing if you are not succeeding because the game is not completing your inputs. So I'm gonna do my best to try and stay chill. But that might need it. I mean, I need to like step, pause it and breathe for a moment here and there, because it's been an experience. But gonna get started here. I don't normally get frustrated with video games, so it's been very odd for me to have that experience as well. But we will lean in to it and hopefully overcome the challenge. There are people that, like, a lot of people that posted saying they straight up quit the game at this part because it's like, and that was like in Metroidvania forums where like people are used to the platforming, used to the need for precision controls. Like people swapped out their controllers because they thought their controllers were breaking. So it's unfortunately it's not just me having that issue, but also I'm not going crazy. So it's 7:15. I am not excited for this, but let's go. Let's go. Okay, this is as far as I've made it. This next part... Fuck. Trying to just stay calm, collected, focused. Fuck. The frustrating thing is the sensitivity. He will not run unless you are hard left. Like, it's very frustrating. And it's just frustrating to have to like really jerk the stick all the way over to get the responsiveness. Like you have to do very exaggerated movements to get this game to respond. But then there's like this contrast between the exaggerated movements you have to get the game to respond, but then the demand for certain precision in like the aiming, and then just the non-responsiveness to inputs at times. Like it's a really weird like inconsistency basically. Fuck. God, that's frustrating. Okay. I gotta just keep my chill, not get angry. I have never been as angry as this game made me yesterday. Okay. See, like there, I was pressing the trigger and it was not responding, and that's frustrating. It's just like you have to press the buttons, like it's just not, there's like a latency thing or something, I don't know. It's just weird. It's not tight, and so it's like hitting these spikes. You hit them and you're dead before your actual model seemingly collides with them. Okay. Fuck. Was that it? Holy crap.
Mtoto wangu, my dear, dear son, what has happened to you? Parents and children, they fight. It is the way of things. But you will find no shame here. You did not cause this to happen to me. Time did. Let the pain go, Toto wangu. Let the anger go. Be at peace with me. Be at peace. It is...
No. He never finished it.
I'm choosing to believe that they made it so that it makes you angry, so you can relate. Maybe, perhaps, maybe.
Baba always jumped around in his writing. He'd start with one, then finish another, always going with whatever ideas came to him. He let me read a few of his finished manuscripts, but only the finished ones. I'd never seen half of this before. I'm going to read them. It doesn't matter if they're unfinished. For the time he was writing, he still had something to say. They're still a part of him. Baba always jumped around in his writing. He'd start with one, then finish another, always going with whatever ideas came to him. He let me read a few of his finished manuscripts,
dialogue,
but only the finished ones.
that I've already...
I'd never seen half of this before. I'm going to read them. It doesn't matter if they're unfinished. For the time he was writing, he still had something to say. They're still a part of him. Baba's books. So many genres and stories that they have their own room in our house. Mama wanted to donate the older ones, but Baba wouldn't let her. He was always in the middle of reading them, he said. I think I'll read my way through his collection. No time better than the present, right? Baba would think so. Yeah, he really would. Mama's Nakshi. Baba wanted me to pick something special to celebrate. I'm going to be a big brother. I just hope I can live up to the challenge. She won't know Baba. But that doesn't mean I can't introduce her to him through his stories. The world he loves, the people he values. Baba's favorite painting. Not Mama's, though. She thought it didn't look good hanging in the hall. Like clockwork, Mama would glance at the painting and Baba would smirk. I always thought it was funny. Amani. Our home. Baba and I love it here. Mama, she does, but in her own way. A country girl through and through. Thinking about it, I don't know if Mama was ever truly happy being here. I think she misses the calm of nature. But me, I can't see myself anywhere else. I belong here, in the beating drum at the center of the world. my old playroom. It'll have to change soon. We'll have the little one here, and she'll need a room. But for now, it's like a time capsule. A really nostalgic one. So many good memories with these bin bags. Also, the most comfortable thing I've ever sat on. Mama and Baba found them in the local market and thought they were perfect for the playroom. Baba would insist on sitting on the little one to tell me his favorite myths and legends. He looked comically large, like some kind of giant. I never got tired of those evenings. Sitting in the massive beanbag with a cup of hot chocolate, listening to my Baba. My old paintings, they're really something. It's like looking at a different version of myself. A more naive one. Years later, I found out that Mama used to come fix them up in the night. I was shocked. So all those times I'd wake up and say, wow, what a perfect elephant I drew, were all a lie. Imagine. I leave the art to Mama these days. But it did teach me a lot about making things right. My old Yumbo dolls. Baba would buy me one every single year. A Yumbo for my little Yumbo, he would say. Honestly, I never liked them. But it did it all worth it. Come to think of it, I think he knew I didn't like them. Mama's gonna say this is a mess. I should probably tidy it up at some point. I mean, looks fine to me. Bukovu, the city of the future. I could have just made a volcano, but Baba dared me to do better. To really think about my project. I wanted to make something people would want, what they need. A better future. Sustainable, powerful. Maybe one day I can make it a reality. Really. I'd sell my plans to Pamoja Corp and buy Mama a beautiful home in the country. She'd love that. Oh, the griot lamp. So weird. Why did Baba think I'd want one of these?
Fact! The giraffe only sleeps for around 30 minutes a night. That must be how parents feel. Fact! The northern deserts are still home to the Tajaradi, a matriarchal tribe dedicated to their ancient traditions. Fact! The black-backed jackal is monogamous. One mate for life. Natural romantics. Fact! Armin has the highest number of World Heritage sites. That is a lot of history for one place. Fact! The modern VTOL car was designed by Lele Oyawale in 2008. Thanks to Lele, everyone can fly. Fact! Across your whole life, you will spend around a year of it on the toilet. Be careful not to sit for too long, though.
Ugh. Thanks?
Fact! The longest recorded game of Mancala was at the International Mancala Tournament in 1988. It lasted over 7 hours. Too long! Fact! The oldest baobab is located in the Amanland district of Amani. Most dendrologists believe it to be over 3,000 years old.
Of course. Taking inspiration from right here at home, hey, Baba?
Fact! You cannot hum if you are holding your nose. Hey, I bet you're trying it now. tower in the Principality of Edea. It's 3,121 feet tall. That's really tall. Fact: your feet produce a pint of sweat every day.
That's disgusting. Who would ever need to know this?
Fact: the heart of a shrimp is located in their head. I suppose they always think with their heart. Fact: the tallest mountain in the solar system is Makao Yakimungu, or Mirihi, at a whopping 13.6 miles tall. That's more than 3 times the height of Kilimanjaro. Fact: your skeleton is inside you right now. Like just standing there, under your flesh at this very moment.
Okay.
Fact: the first word said by the astronaut Amina Imamu when landing on Mwezi was, "Now we stand in the footsteps of the gods." Fact: the longest recorded flight of a chicken is 13 seconds. The great chickens of the sky. Fact: the first recorded use of soap dates back to ancient Babylon, all the way back in 2800 BCE. Those ancient Babylonians must have smelled fantastic. Fact: sea otters hold hands while they sleep, just so they don't drift away from each other in the night. You have to admit, that's pretty adorable.
That is adorable. You win.
Fact: night rainbows are real. When the moon is just right, we get moonbows. Fact: all the faces you see in your dreams are real people. Even if you saw them for just a fleeting second, that means you are in the dream worlds of strangers too. Fact: your skeleton is inside you right now. Like just standing there, under your flesh at this very moment.
Okay.
Fact: the tallest mountain in the solar system is Makao Yakimungu, or Mirihi, at a whopping 13.6 miles tall. That's more than 3 times the height of Kilimanjaro.
Little Ozzy. Bibi Ngina bought this in the hospital shop the day I was born. I'm surprised it's still in good shape. Bibi called it my guardian spirit. She said in the ancient times, griot bats like these would protect the pure of heart. I miss her a lot. But, in a way, I'm glad she was never around to see how things turned out with Baba. That would have broken her. It was scary for me, his child, but I can't imagine Baba's own mother. Little Ozzy. Bibi Ngina bought this in the hospital shop the day I was born. I'm surprised it's still in good shape. Bibi called it my guardian spirit. She said in the ancient times, griot bats like these would protect the pure of heart. I miss her a lot. But, in a way, I'm glad she was never around to see how things turned out with Baba. That would have broken her. It was scary for me, his child, but I can't imagine Baba's own mother. Mama and Baba's bedroom. It feels empty. I wish I could build a time machine and take Mama back to this day. She always said it flew by so quickly. She and Baba didn't even get any of their own cake. Mama's new painting. It's a lot darker than her usual work. Mama always said you create art with your feelings as the palette. And I could see it all right here, her heart on the canvas. But Mama is Mama. Even when she's grieving, her real self can't help but come out. Right there, a glimmer of light. The book wasn't finished. He didn't finish it. He couldn't finish it. When I said I wasn't ready, I know he is gone. It's just, I don't think I'm ready to. The world continues to spin, but there is a part of me that feels this wasn't supposed to happen. This wasn't how the story should have ended. It wasn't supposed to end this way. I don't. I can't. I feel so lost.
When we found out we were having you, we were terrified. We read all the books, spoke to all our family, our friends. But how can you be prepared for a child before you have even met them? Oh, we felt lost to Zuberi. But then, your Baba turned to me and I will never forget it. He turned and said, every story begins at the end of another. I looked at him. This man has lost all sense. This is what I thought. But in what he said, it comforted me. I understood a little more. Every story begins at the end of another.
It is done. The three great spirits sought and healed. The promise fulfilled. We must return to Patakatifu. We must go to the realm of the dead.
Yes.
Whenever you are ready, Zhao.
I just need to get enough points to raise one more level so that I can get that trophy, though. Can I come to this one here and do it a few times? Let's try. But it is so far to get to there from the fires. Is this one quicker? This one. Let's try. See if we can get a little more experience to raise that final level so that because I think that's the last trophy I need aside from beating the game. Hopefully this awards experience. Does this award experience? Did that not award experience? Okay, I'm so close. If I do it again, will I have the experience I need? I can't tell if that did or didn't award experience. Wrong button. That did not award experience. Okay, I gotta go find somewhere that has some actual enemies in the wild then. The forest pretty reliably does. Enemies, 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 enemies. There gotta be some in the forest. There's always some in the forest. Let's see if we can find them. I hope they will still spawn because I'm so close to that trophy. There were definitely some by here last time I was over here. No, I went the other way last time, though. I just gotta kill a few more to get that last point. Oh shit, I forgot about those. That was just sloppiness. Come on, there's got to be something left around here to fight. There we go. Come on, game. If I go back and come back again, will you spawn again? Gotta be somewhere I can get a couple more enemies to spawn. Come on! There we go! That should be a trophy. Let me check. Upgrade all skills. Was that not all skills? Okay, it popped, it popped, it popped. Had me really worried for a moment there. But it popped. So now all that is left is one more codex entry. What, let me look. One more codex entry and completing the end of this act. I imagine the final codex entry is going to be when we go to the land of the dead. Alright, closest fire is going to be going to the right, down, left, down, right, 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 right. That's my own sloppiness. All right. Which is going to be less frustrating. Probably this one. Ah! What is over there? Oh. Here we go. End of the game.
Here, Zhao. This is where we enter the realm of the dead. The pool is the conduit, and these waters will guide us through. We can wait if we must. But when you are ready, tell me so.
I'm ready to enter the realm of the dead.
Yes, you are. And so am I. Wade into the pool. Plunge into the deep. It is time for you to finally see. We are here. The realm of the dead. A place of peace. A final bed.
Simply another stop on the great journey of existence.
Rage, sorrow, like grains of sand, will slip through our hands as we journey the lands.
You know what I've wanted to do, I'm going to do that before I move further along in the game, is to play this whole thing in order.
The boy stood before a being he was familiar with, yet a stranger to. Staring to him, he felt the heat of a manifested form, something tangible, something real. Yet the eyes told Zhao a different tale, a distance in the pupils, a coldness that clung. Meeting death is never an easy thing. The lives of this world danced to his melody, slept to his lullaby, lamented to his dirge. At least, that is what they say. Yet Zhao stood and greeted him in a world of perfect silence. No grandeur or ceremony, just death, a boy, and a haunting request. The sun and the moon, the great bodies that hold dominion over the skies. She is the mother that gives the warm embrace when the endless sea above is a coursing blue. Even in the cloudiest of days, she waits behind the veil to reassure. He is the father, there in the darkness. Though the shadows lay heavy, the light brings reprieve, ushers forth the path to a sweet lilting clarity. The warmth and the light, bound together in a harmony fueled by the balance. The collective parent, protecting, guiding. Zhao held the masks of the sun and the moon to the highest adoration, for as long as the dominion was close, the embrace would never leave him. Amandla was all but silent in the waking days of his Baba's passing. Only one remained, an elder on her fading breath, too stubborn to abandon her stool. Her last witnessing was the broken boy, kneeling in the plains as tears scarred his cheeks. The mutterings of desperation as he clutched the masks, as he cast the world for the pain. Patakatifu, the elder cried, sanctuary, look into the wise eyes of Kalunga to find your peace. In Patakatifu, where the spirits lay in dormant dreams and the passing tunnel of undeath falters. Her last breath, a hope. The boy knew of these cheating spirits, great beings defying the will of the tunnel. To Patakatifu he must lay his plan. In the sanctuary of gods and mortal kind, he would seek the one they called death. In those first weeks of the sickness, Zhao had never left his Baba's side. Yet, beyond their door, a different story unfolded. He would hear the cautioned orders of the warriors ferrying the people onto the long roads away. He remembered now the cries of children as they left their homes, and the louder sobs of the elders that knew they may never see their lands again. Those that did not flee succumbed to the growing darkness of the world. One, then another, then another. Falling by a cruel grip of survival that none could sustain, that none could strengthen. It was the slow fall of time that brought the sickness to his home, to his Baba. The safety of the door mattered little now. The pain and the hearth became as one. The memories of the past echoed in Zhao's ears as he ventured through these ancient caverns. The elated laugh of a child as she splashed her mother. The sloshing of pots filled with the clean, tranquil water brought to a family to cook together, to be together. The waters around the boy fell and cascaded onto themselves with a will of their own. In a way, it was a reminder to Zhao to take comfort in the simple wonders of our world, to behold the humble incarnations of nature. He welcomed this reminder again and again, each step a longing dream of the distant tranquility. The hot iron rod plunging into the eye, the powder smothered over the flesh, the bones shrinking as the face contorts to an ever-menacing grin, a smile that lingers like a light flashing into the pupil. Tokoloshi. Tricksters in life, now tricksters in death. A cruel joke by the witch doctors of the wild that all but lost its punchline. Spite became them in the darkening days of the land, as the sleeping tribe of Ikakaramba were taken in the grim blackness of the storm. One would wake to find the others would not, and they knew. They all knew. The Tokoloshi had come, now plagued by the final pun, that death has no rhyme or no reason. A mottled laugh in a choking heart. The Yambos. Long had they been a myth to some, but Zhao knew them to be real. From where they came, His Baba had said they bought plenty on the hot ever summer nights. The music was fierce as it echoed through their lands, the singing loud and dripped in merriment. These Yambos, these good people, they danced, turning and swaying with their shadows in the warm light of the fire. Until now, only the tall trees of their realm saw such joy. Now the hero saw them too, as warm as the kindest embrace, as happy as the softest lullaby. Spirit should never linger in our world. The clear line now blurred as the boundaries broke, the ancient laws of the universe altering under the machinations of pain, regret, and restless purpose. They were consumed by confusion, of a hardship words could not quantify. Phantasmal entities now plagued the once peaceful lands Zhao called home. The raw emotions were all around him, his resolve shaken. This was his duty, his purpose, to heal those wandering souls so malformed by their own devastation. It was not a cruel act. Baba had always been so clear on that. It was a passage, the shaman but a guide of the fallen. It had not occurred to Zhao how similar he and Kalunga were in that regard. Both had a duty. Both had a burden. His movements still, his eyes focused. That was how Baba would tell it when he and Zhao would fish on a great lake in the middle of the world. The winged creatures lurked in the sky, suspended in the air, their piercing gaze fixed upon the prize. Wide were the hands of Baba to show the quality of the catch, bigger and bigger still with each telling of the tale. A catch of great fortune, but the Kongomato must be paid. Baba was so clear on that, for to not gift the Kongomato was to suffer the rough, to suffer the long swim back to the shore, or worse still. The waters are their domain. That is what he would proclaim, as the young boy sat and absorbed the majesty of his father, the great feeder of beasts. It was said that to bring the rain was to bring forth the fertility of the gods themselves. A dance of valued fortune, here possessed in the heart of this small girl. Liana, as the name was given, the blessings of the water imbued in the very content of her character. Delicate yet determined she seemed, like the wading rivers that bestow the green and the bounty to us all. Zhao saw within her a reflection of his younger days, of the adventurous soul that would spend an eternity embracing the quality of this world. He knew it in his heart. To help her was to help the world incarnate. For without the soul of the youth, this world would surely mean nothing. The body, the mind, the spirit, all three walked as one on the long and winding path of the shaman. Baba had often said that the beauty of this world is shown only by the care of those that defend it. To heal is not an action, but a persistence of the soul. Perpetual is the responsibility. Eternal is the battle of betterment. The lessons were true, but the path provided the practical experience. Liana stood on this path, and Zhao had a choice. Should a shaman walk around those that obscure the end in sight, or stop and find a way together? Zhao had to stop. He thought, he assumed, he knew that was his path. When the first of the tribesfolk came, they saw before them a land few would wish to claim. Yet the journey was long, and a hope persisted. A hope bloomed by the sight of the world beneath. Water, the jewel of life. One hand became many, and a people were born. The waters raised by the innovation of mortal minds, great wheels that drew awe and wonder. Green came to the hills, flowers to the cliffs, a land given life and a name, Ikakaramba, the pride of generations past. The tragedy was this. Now only one remained to tell the tale of her people. And what a burden it is to bear the history of everything. The storm builds and can show no relent. The clouds heavy, fit to burst at the great coming of change. Baba had confessed this much to his own mama. when the sun was high and the days were longer, a worry clinging to his hands as he held them to long grass. Soon, he would welcome the child to this world, the truest miracle. So why are the clouds within me darkened? His mama only smiled, for she too knew of it, that the seasons pass, and the sky is a blade of two edges. The days will be shorter, she said, and longer still. Yet hold on to it, as her hand found his, for the storm is the child, and the child is now you. Unfurl your wings, and let him too spread his joy. The self is gone, far from dark. Now comes a brighter morning. Ever sacred, yet ever silent were the great trees that watched the woodlands. Their arms reached high towards the skies, open, inviting. Beneath the soil and dirt their bodies sprawled, burrowing ever closer to the deep center of us all. Even in the throes of these days of darkness, they remained. Long have our ancestors uttered that the forest held a silent counsel for the troubled mind. After all, the forest had seen life, death, and all between them. Perhaps, Zhao thought, through their age, they were numb to the shadowy night of the heart. And in that moment, Zhao felt a sad pang of envy. The swamp waters sought to drown the homes of living souls. Their rooms abandoned, their purpose nullified. There would be no more singing in the night. What good were huts when there was no one to use them? And Baba would often say that all things had meaning, but what was the meaning here? Zhao thought about what Kalunga might say if such a thing were asked of him. Perhaps he would make some grand statement on the power of nature, on reclamation, that the homes were never the Kivulians to own in the first place. But Zhao did not ask. The drowning of civilization was enough of a statement in itself. The creeping coil of the snake never failed to worry the boy. Often, Zhao would dream of such a fate only to wake in the embrace of his Baba. The griot's history told of Afia, a great maker of the Namib, a serpent that coveted the taste of worlds. Inkanyamba was its name, though many dreaded to utter it, for to say it was to draw the lidless eyes to them. Never look to it, the elders briefed. Yet here its children lacked, their stomachs full of poison that scarred the skin and pierced the flesh. Perhaps it was their innate desire to continue their Creator's work, to consume Zhao's world in the coil of malice and decay. Sometimes the whys and hows matter little in a world that refuses to stop spinning. Zhao could sit there and ponder for an eternity how this world had changed and why this all had to happen. Such theories and speculations played little on Zhao's mind. All he saw around him was his world different, altered, contorted to the point of little recognition. Was this still his Kenzera? If he were to succeed in this journey, what would he be bringing his Baba back to? Nostalgia was soiled by the painful present. Looking back is easy. Looking forward is not. Chaos and order, essential partners in the great dance to which Zhao was taught. The untrained warrior fought with but one in mind, his Baba had uttered. To be true to the form of fighting, Zhao had to let go, shedding the dependencies of structure, but remaining meticulous. A sweeping foot, a calculated arm, freeing eyes to see beyond the moment. The boy lost himself as he weaved and flowed, dancing with the power of ancestors in his heart, connecting with them, journeying deeper with them. The form was an act of enemy and ally, contest and partnership. That was the way of the shaman. That was the way of the dance. The heart of fear is within, and it is bound to nature's reach, not a form, not a being. We all possess our kikiaon, and in turn it possesses us. The once rich veins that course and travel. The slow drip, the burn within. You feel yourself fade more and more. Nature's hold, Nature's watch like grim eyes nestled in a tree of familiarity. The water drifts round and round the void, the last of the crown washing away as the knees buckle and the rising pain begins again. It cannot still be the true fear of it all. The fear is letting go, of staring into the eyes of that which you created and knowing, I cannot run from it. I cannot hide. I have to be honest with myself, with you. It was said in Kivuli that the shadows spared those lonely souls from solitude. To look into the shadow of the self is to bear witness to a partner of tomorrow. A grace from the night world that waits for the time to take us all to the realm of the dead. Kalunga would refute such folklore, of course, but Zhao took comfort in the idea. If the shadows sought to guide us to our end, then perhaps his Baba was not alone. The shadow knew Baba well. Even as one night, the boy heard the muttering of a desperate prayer, when all who should listen would be beholden to the slumber of man. I do not recognize my own shadow anymore. With each passing footstep, Zhao felt it, a fear ingrained in the root and the rot of this abandoned land. The fear rustled every bush and brushed against every leaf. In that haunting melody, one thought clung to the boy, a thought unable to be so easily shrugged off by the journey's pursuits. Did my Baba fear those final moments, when inevitability smothered the senses, choked the fading fragments of hope or light? Was it fear in his eyes when he saw that last breath drawn? The boy could not say. What he imagined of finality was just that, an image. A fear of leaving this world or a fear of leaving those behind. Both hold a terror that none should have to bear. Arms sharpened by a vicious need, great eyes that saw only the tracked prints of the boy. The scent caught them, clutching at their throats, pouring into their bellies, writhing within. They saw it so clearly. The boy, this shaman, took unsightly steps, gripped to the regret of a forlorn guilt that cast aside their warnings, even as they held their arms to him. Zhao followed a shadow, dark footsteps that would bring doom and misery. The hunters cried in their babbled tongues. The boy could not be allowed to succeed. He could not take them to her. He could not go to the barrow. Endurance through strife. That was the Chokan way. The war of the mind fought to keep hold of a land that could not be tamed. Alas, these wild lands were home. Sand, carried in the pouches of young Shokans to remind them to retain the contest of personal nature. Home lacked clear definition now for the boy. What was the home without the father, without the mother? Was Zhao ever the sand clutched tightly to his mama's breast? Endurance through strife. Zhao could not help but linger on the words in his restlessness. As the thoughts lay like heavy darkness, the parent became both clear and distinct, near and far, kin and stranger, like death. Trauma never dissolves, like oil lacking on the surface of a pool. In the heat of these deadlands, Zhao's mind shifted to Sabulana's warmth, the way it felt to make her laugh. That look she would give before they were to embark on deep treks into the forest against their parents' better wishes. The touch of her hand upon his, a kindling of romance yet to bloom. Her smile. Her smile. How memories can change. Zhao would never unsee it. Wretched, unnatural, pierced from ear to ear. A healer he may well have been, but some things cannot just be healed. Some wounds never fade. The duality of life is this, finding happiness deep within the lament. As pained as laughing at a wake where the moment once more hits you and the smile fades. Zhao would lose himself to the adventure. The journey had been arduous and oftentimes brought a brutality that numbed warmth. But he had dreamed all his life of venturing this world, of doing true good. Enjoyment flickered within him, even in his companionship to death for all his prior faults. Then the dawning memory scratches across the soul. We enjoy these moments, but remember now this joy is drawn from the very same pool of our own misfortune. The smile faded from Zhao, the journey refocused, the pain returning once more. The field of bones held into itself stories all but forgotten. Only the husks of their ventures remained. The memories of these creatures were lost to the great vessel of time. Grutzlang was their name. To look to them was to see firsthand the forlorn pursuit of nature, struggling to cross a land that had no business in mercy or relent. Only their bones remained to remind the world of what hope could bring. Pain above all else. Zhao, however, saw promise. For though many journeys could end in failure, few brave souls could cross the brink, perseverance through insurmountable odds. Zhao would not allow his story to end as the Grutzlang, a name forgotten, a purpose tarnished. His desire was too great to abandon. His promise was too important to be lost. Assimilation. Minds bound together through contortion, a hive mind without individuality, without promise or hope. Zhao could not shift the thought of them, of their covetous desires. True understanding did not come to him, and Kalunga seemed not to tell it, that once they were all like us, for all are born with a balanced virtue, yet envy caught them all. The brother who glared at his kin's successes, the partner who craved the better life with the richer soul, the thief who could not cease the pillage of the dark. All drew the bloodletting, when in the hot nights the Adze trailed through the cracks in the stone like lucid sand. Touched they became. There was no reversing this. The brother, the partner, the thief, no more. Only Adze remained. The pact of parent to child is an understanding that transcends mortality, that surpasses even the strength of gods. Zhao knew in his heart he had been wronged, that this life without his Baba was not wanted, not deserved. Yet he was not a foolish boy. Wise were his years, and this journey bestowed unto him eyes now opened. There is a pain worse. He saw it right there in the eyes of the warrior. Bomani. The fear of losing the child, of losing his son. Even Kalunga looked upon Bomani differently. The cold, distant eyes of death were there, yes, but deeper. A warm kindling of compassion that uttered a whisper of familiarity. No parent should have to lose their child. Zhao could not even imagine the look in Baba's eyes if the roles were reversed. In our age, 3 spirits do reside. One of sky, one of earth, one of mankind. Majestic and powerfully sublime, but death's grace denied when their time did align. The Amun cycled past, and illness crept in. Once 3 great spirits, now sickly and thin. O wise revered shamans, come, heal our pain, shepherd our spirits to Kalunga's domain. Many did come, the shamans path brave, and death watched them all, intrigued, mind, grave. Their attempts were in vain, their spirits forlorn, with no respite, no cure, and hope all but gone. It is said, if a shaman can cross the thick veil, guiding those spirits with death by their sail, great favor by death, true wealth bestowed. But those who fail, Kalunga's grace shall know. It was often said that the road of good intentions is littered with dark obstruction. Such a saying was all too real for Zhao. He endeavored nothing more than to serve his land, to become a paragon of the path. Yet the burden grew heavier and heavier with each passing moment, with each dark sight that befell him. It seemed to the boy clear that all good acts came with a cost. To help the child and her mother brought a mourning not easily shifted. To help his old friend was to dance with fear incarnate. To help a long-gone father would bring both peace and discomfort. The child, the friend, the father, the road reaching its end. How did it all still seem so far away? None know the story of tomorrow's dawn. Few can predict what shrouds are unveiled through the piercing light of day. Not all can tell the journey of the wind. Zhao was no all-seeing prophet. He had no business dwelling in the gamble of time. That did not stop him from those stray thoughts. This journey had been one of yesterday, looking over his shoulder to the world he knew, to the life he had, of memory and cherishment. But here, on the highest mountain of the harshest plain, he looked ahead. What did he see in that rising dawn? Was it peace for his pain? Or maybe a gentle embrace? Tears of sorrow or polluted joy? None know the story of tomorrow's dawn, but Zhao was prepared to tell it all the same. We are a fickle beast. For every good, we bring a tinge of darkness that threatens erasure. So why do we deserve any of this? Zhao had spoken on such matters before, when his world was good and spared the dark. Baba could not help but laugh. The good will always see its way through the path, he said. With anger, a following calm. With hate, the respondent love. With suffering, an overdue happiness. That is the spirit of mankind. And as dark as our form becomes, goodness will see us through. Zhao had to remember that. Was this not the lesson the world had given him? For as long as one single person stands tall, there remained a hope, blooming in the sand that would one day be an ocean.
While death's fear consumes, a catalyst it becomes, for blooming in its wake as the heart overcomes. Fledglings leave their nests soaring to the sky. A parent knows inevitably they must bid their child goodbye. I know you do.
How can you die in the land of the dead?
Tiwaroho, where the path begins and ends.
It is peaceful here.
That is because your heart beats with peace. It sees no more anger, no more fear, no more sorrow. Your heart beats with your ancestors now. Peace. You see it now. I know you do. I ask you now, Zhao, Shaman of Amandla, are you truly ready to perform your duties as my son?
Baba, I am.
Then show me. Show me you are ready.
Wait, what? Oh my gosh. Oh, you got a laser. Oh. No! Oh, man.
Oh, my Baba. Baba yangu. Baba yangu. Baba yangu.
You truly thought you could summon and barter with death itself. So headstrong. So defiant. Oh, my son.
Did I make you proud of me, Baba? Are you proud of me?
I have always been proud of you.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
What are you sorry for, my boy?
For feeling angry. Scared.
Zhao, healing can only begin when we have conceded to our emotions. When we do not hide them. When we do not ignore them.
But I could not save you.
You could not save me from my fate. But you have saved many others from theirs. The path you have walked has been one of service and compassion. And that is all I could ever wish of you. A lion's heart swells with pride as they watch their cub roar with might.
Papa, I love you.
I love you too. Now, Zhao, my son, perform your duty.
Shut up, I'm not crying, you're crying. Well, I ended up playing longer than I thought I would, and I definitely cried. Alright, I'm ending the stream, and I don't think I'm going to play Elden Ring tonight, because that went longer than I thought it would, but I'll probably play it in the morning. Have a good night, everyone. I need to figure out what game I'm going to play next, so I'll announce that tomorrow.